The Jehovah's Witness, those of you that are new to my channel, I am an ex-Jehovah's Witness. I was in the organization for 16, to make a long story short. I was in the organization altogether 16 years. And if you watch some of my earlier videos, you'll see me talking about it. And I even did some, I think I went in and locked all those videos. You may not see those videos. They're still on my channel, but I think I locked them. I think I went through and locked all those videos. But anywho, if you go through some of my older videos, I mentioned about being Jehovah Witnesses, a witness in there somewhere. But I was in an organization for 16 years. I studied for 5 years, and altogether, I was involved with the organization for 16 years. And so I came out like 3 years ago. I want to say 3 years ago. It's weird because I can't remember when I came out. It's weird. But I've been going for the organization about 3 years now. And to make a long story short, I started doing Bible comparing their Bible, and I've seen that I started doing my research, and I seen that there was a lot of discrepancies. They had a lot of discrepancies in their Bible, in the New World Translation, and that was a deal breaker for me, and amongst other things that I was seeing going on in the organization that I didn't like. The unscriptural rules, and all the lawsuits and stuff they got going on, and yeah. So I made a prayerful decision to leave the organization. To make a long story short, any of you that are new to my channel, but those of you that watch me on a regular basis, you know the story. There's some content creators on here that do this ex-Jehovah Witnesses. That's their whole content. That's their whole content is ex-Jehovah Witness. I do ex-Jehovah Witness videos here and there, but because when I started the channel, it wasn't about Jehovah's Witness, and that'd be kind of boring to talk about Jehovah's Witness all the time. But you got some content creators, that's their whole content. That's their whole content. But some content creators are dealing with a lot of trauma as a result of being in the organization. So they really are really passionate about educating people about the organization. And that's fine if that's what they want to do. But different strokes for different folks. But I like to throw an ex-Jehovah Witness video out every now and again, because it just amazes me. It just amazes me of all the changes that they're making since I left the organization. It's blowing my mind. Men can wear beards. For years they said that men couldn't wear beards. I thought that's weird because Jesus Christ had a beard. But for years they said men couldn't wear beards. Now men can wear beards. Women couldn't wear pants. I was salty about that rule. A sister was salty about that rule because a sister loves a nice pantsuit. You can never go wrong with a nice pantsuit. I love a nice pantsuit. And I was salty about that rule because when I wore my pants to the meeting one time, they was like, well, that's not really appropriate. And I was salty. I was salty about that rule. I said, I don't understand why you can't wear a nice pantsuit, But now they can wear pants. Women can wear pants. So they changed that rule. They changed the blood. It used to be you couldn't do blood transfusions. Still can't do blood transfusions, but it used to be you couldn't even accept fractions. You couldn't even accept blood fractions. Now you can accept blood fractions. So they might as well let folks donate plasma. Because they said that too. You couldn't donate plasma. A sister donated some plasma. A sister needed that little money, you know. And plasma and plasma helps people. Plasma helps people. It's a win-win situation. You get a little money, and they that plasma saves people's lives. And some people need that plasma. It's not the blood that you're donating. It's the water in your blood that you're donating. But oh, that's a whole separate video. But anywho, they might as well change that rule too. They might as well let the members donate plasma. They might as well. But you can do blood fractions now, which you couldn't do them before. And it's changed some other rules too. Oh, now here lately, the two new ones that I'm hearing about is you used to couldn't do cheers with the like when you getting ready to take a drink, and you know how people say cheers. We used to couldn't do that because they thought they considered it a pagan practice. Now they letting folks do a cheer. You can do cheers now. It's weird. And now used to be that they would highly it used to be that they would these people out here with all these kids. The girl ain't got no these people out here with these kids. And the baby ain't got no pants on. But anywho, I'm getting sidetracked. Anywho, the the rule is it used to be that they was strongly discourage the members from going to college. Now I went to college anyway. Because I was going to college when I started I actually had just started going to. I think I was 2 or 3 years in when I started studying in the organization that college, because I was a single parent, and I was trying to get educated so I can get a better paying job so I can make more money and support my family, more. Well, that was the plan. Yeah. But I said, well, because when you're, I critically think in that situation. I was like, they didn't tell us we couldn't go to college, but they highly discouraged it. And my thought was, okay, I'm a single mother. Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't see a bill with their name on it. They're not paying any of my bills. And I'm a single mother living on one income, trying to survive on one income with 2 kids. So yeah, I gotta keep going to college. Yeah. And plus I loved college. So I decided to keep going, It still, I said, I didn't let it. I made sure that I would schedule my classes around the meetings, and because you have a weekly meeting and you have a Sunday meeting, so I made sure I never scheduled my classes on a Wednesday, and I never let my college interfere with my meeting attendance or anything like that. So I worked around it. Because I would always take just 2 classes at a time because I was working too. And there were some witnesses that still did go to college. I made the decision to continue because, like I said, I was a single mother and I needed a better paying job because I wasn't making decent money, and it was about survival. And they had all these preconception pre like perception preconceived perceptions of people that went to college. that's not necessarily true of everybody that goes to college. So they was a little stereotypical when they would get up there and they would give their speech and talk. When they would talk about college, they were a little stereotypical, and they pretty much stereotyped everybody that was going to college, which I didn't think it was right. One time I got mad. I remember I was sitting in a meeting one time and they went to saying, because people that go to college, they materialistic and they this and that. And I said, that's not true. That's not true of everybody that go to college. And I said, that's not the reason why I'm going, you know. And so I was a little offended by that. I was a little salty by that. And so they had the tendency to stereotype people and that was a way of them discouraging their members from going to college. They did everything in their power to discourage the members to not go to college. And so now they're changing the rules again, and they're telling people that it's okay to go to college if you want. And I think one of the reasons why they're changing they're rolling back all these rules is that they're losing a lot of members. A lot of people are coming out of that organization. A lot of people are waking up and coming out of that organization, and they're losing a lot of members. So it's like it seems like they're kind of grasping at straws, and they make a lot of money off of the members because that's how they print their literature and build up kingdom halls and everything. And so it's like right now they're kind of like grasping at straws, and they're trying to keep relax some of those strict rules they had, so they can hold on to some of those, to hold on to some members. Because let's face facts, a lot of those rules were unscriptural. A lot of them, they don't say nowhere in the Bible. And that was another reason why I decided to keep going, because at that point I had to critically think. And I went back in the Bible. I said, there ain't nothing in the Bible that say nothing about you can't go to college. And then they would give 50 million reasons why you shouldn't go. It leads to materialism, or it interferes with your kingdom, what is it? Kingdom interest or whatever, like going to the meetings and all that kind of stuff. They would come up with all these reasons why you shouldn't go. And while this is a whole separate video, while colleges, why are these people walking all over I know I'm in a parking lot, but it just seems like these people are just walking around the parking lot willy-nilly. I don't know, maybe I'm being paranoid. Anywho, what was I saying? It's a whole separate video, but a college education is no guarantee. A college education is no guarantee. I'm living proof of that. But it does help. It helps to have a college degree. I mean, it depends on what you go in. I know one young lady that was in an organization. She was a nurse. She went to school to be a nurse, and well, you got to go to school if you're gonna be a nurse. You got to go to school. There's no way around it. You got to go to college if you're gonna be a nurse. There's no getting around it. So, in this economy, the way this economy is set up, college is, while it's not a guarantee, it helps. I mean, in a lot of cases, some people have went to college and they became quite successful. It depends on what you go for. And in Trump, especially in Trump's economy, you need to make that paper. You need to make that paper. It's about survival. It's not about being greedy. It's about survival. I mean, can't nobody survive on minimum wage. But that's a whole nother video. So, but this is the issue. This is the problem. A lot of people are upset now. I was watching somebody else's video where they were talking about that, and I was reading the comment section, and a lot of people are coming in the comment section and are very, very upset because a lot of ex-Jehovah Witnesses are upset because some people didn't go to college because the organization told them not to go, and as a result, they wasn't they didn't want they wanted up not having being successful, not having a because they discouraged careers. They discouraged having a career, any kind of any career of any sort. They highly discouraged that, and you were hired, and they didn't mind. They didn't have a problem with you going down to that welfare office and getting them stamps and stuff. They ain't had no problem with that. Now they ain't discouraged that. They didn't have a problem with you going down there getting them stamps. They ain't say nothing about that. They ain't discouraged that. But but they discourage. Somebody said that they discourage saving money, because they say, well, we're in this system is getting ready to come to an end. You're not going, and the Bible does say do not store up treasures, but you got to have some type of savings for just in case of an emergency, if something happens or whatever. It's not about storing up treasures. It's just about having some type of money set aside for an emergency, just in case something happens. A car breaks down or whatever. You know what I mean? And so they discourage saving too much money, which, that's a personal thing. They was in people's business too much. That's a conscious decision. That's a personal decision. But they discouraged having any type of career of any sort. They highly discourage that. They highly discourage education, and a lot of the ex-members are angry because they didn't go to college as a result. And you got some people came in and said, my parents, because a lot of people were raised in it, and they're coming forth and saying, yeah, my parents didn't want me, they forbidden me to go to college. And this one came in and said she had full ride scholarships, and her parents was like, told her, nope, you're not taking that scholarship. And as a result, she wound up not going to college. Needless to say, she probably really resents her parents. And I wanted my son to go to college. I was actually disappointed when I found out my son didn't want to go to college. And because he graduated in 2018, I was still in the organization. And I was encouraging my son to go. And he was like, Mom, I just don't want to go, So I was kind of disappointed that he didn't want to go. But, he's still young. He's got plenty of time to go if he wants to. But you can go to college at any age. But, yeah, a lot of people are angry. A lot of people are upset because, they didn't go to college because they was in the organization. This one lady came in. I can't remember whose video that was. Ex-Jehovah Witness, but this lady came in on the in the comment section and said, I'm 57 years old, and she said I'm really upset because I'm 57 years old, and I didn't go to college because the organization was saying not to go to college, and now I'm 57 years old, and which is never too late. It's never too late. I wouldn't mind being a lawyer, but you think it's too late. I'll be 58 in a week. You think it's too late for me to practice law? Oh boy. Would be nice. I would love to be a civil rights attorney. I would either like to do civil rights attorney or employment law. Employment law or civil rights attorney or entertainment law sounds interesting. Working with the entertainers, because I used to want to be in the entertainment industry. Which y'all think it's too late for me to go to law school? I wouldn't mind. I do like Kim Kardashian, move to California, and do like Kim Kardashian, and you know that there's only 2 states. California is one of them where Kim Kardashian didn't go to law school. She went and studied up under somebody. She went and studied up somebody up under a law firm, and she went and studied up under them, and she took the baby bar, And then I guess she passed the other bar and she about to be a lawyer. But you can do that. I think it's only 2 states in the United States that you can do that. Michigan is not one of them. So if I want to do that, I'd have to move to California and do that. And I think I don't know. I have to Google and find out how long it took her. But it didn't take her the traditional. I don't think Kim never went to college. Her sister did. Courtney went to college, but she didn't. It would have took her 8 years. She would have had to go to college for 4 years because you got to have your bachelor's. Take the LSTAT, then go to law school for 4 more years. So she would have had to be in school for 8 years. But she studied up under somebody, and it didn't take her no 8 years. Because when she first started doing it, people was cracking on her. They was like, yeah, some of us got to work. Some of us got to go to school for years to get it, But that's how they got it in California. You can get it like that in California. You just go to a law firm and study up under a law firm, and you can get your law degree like that. So I'd have to move to California to do it that way. Then I can expedite it. Yeah. Anywho, I'm getting off subject. Way off subject. But yeah. I just think that's interesting how they roll back that rule. Yeah, a lot of ex-Jehovah Witnesses are really, really salty about that. It's like, yeah, I didn't go to college because the organization told me not to, and now I'm too old to go, and yeah. Or my parents didn't let me go, and now, I could have been making good money and had a great career. Might be some lawsuits that might come behind that. I don't know. They you know what? They better be careful rolling back these rules, because they could be set up to get some more lawsuits, because people could come back and say, okay, y'all, that's emotional. They could sue on the grounds of I don't know, what would be the grounds they could sue under? Emotional damage, or whatever. Leave me in the comment section. What you think they might be able to come back and sue them? I don't know. But anywho, if you are ex-Jehovah's Witness, or your current one, you're a PMO, physically in, mentally out. They call them PMOs, physically in, mentally out. Whatever. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on that. They're rolling back that rule. People can go to college now. Because see, they getting lawsuits left and right, so they need lawyers. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're doing that, because they catching these lawsuits left and right. They need lawyers. They need some lawyers in the organization. So I think that's one of the reasons why they're rolling it back. They're hoping they get some lawyers in the organization to work them cases. But anywho, hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. That's really something. Speaks volumes about that organization. It really does. But anyway, hit the like button and the share. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Be blessed.